10% more lutein, because the way we care is anything but ordinary. Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Listen. You can't handle the truth.
It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Good Wednesday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on WNSR. Darren and Justin here with you for the next 2 hours on this sunny Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Devlin is alongside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. He's got a new toy.
Yeah, you know,
that
showing
he
a
can
little
play
appreciation.
With. Yeah. In fact, let's let the listeners hear his new toy.
Are we doing this now?
Yeah, I want to hear it too.
Okay, we'll
I
go
haven't
for
heard
it.
it.
It's loud.
Okay, here we go. That is a Browns bell, a Cleveland Browns gigantic bell. It's not the size of the Liberty Bell, but it is a giant Browns. Oh, yeah, we forgot to turn the lights on, didn't we?
Yeah.
I was wondering. I was like, man, we look a little bit dark.
Yeah.
You can watch
a
us.
little something different there, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, I was just like, the lights are on, but not the lights.
Yeah.
You can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But, yeah, it's a giant Cleveland Browns bell.
Yes.
We need to find a way to incorporate that. Although I don't know if he's going to leave it here or not. If he does, we would have to incorporate that into the show.
He's had several ideas about what to do with it.
Yeah.
He's thrown out several things.
Like a good call, we could ring the bell.
He's talked about that. He's also talked about
maybe a bad call, we ring the bell.
Rewarding it to his father.
Yes.
For making him a Browns fan.
Regifting.
Yes.
Is the word.
Yes.
Regifting.
So the bell will be, will be given over to another generation of Browns fans.
Right. But he's not on the hook to tell his dad that it's a regift. He could just do the old "Dad, I love you, man." Just thinking about you. You're like, here's your bell.
Yep.
Here's your Cleveland Browns bell.
Really appreciate the years of just depression and sadness,
agony.
Yep.
High blood pressure.
It'll all
heartache.
It'll all pay off one day. Listen,
all the Tums you
when
had to
it's
ingest.
finally over, it's so sweet. I'm talking as a Cubs fan. When it's over, oh my gosh, it's euphoria.
I think the Browns have a better shot at selling the team before they win a Super Bowl.
I think that it took the Cubs, 100 years?
Yeah.
I think it may take the Browns 100 years, possibly.
I thought a lot of things
because they had
would happen.
AFL. I mean, that doesn't count. That was pre-Super Bowl.
Oh, they've got NFL championships,
right,
sure. They got a few of those, yeah.
Before
Otto Graham and those guys, yeah.
Some guy, Jim Brown.
Some guy named Jim
Brown.
Brown.
I don't know he's pretty good. I heard.
Yeah, action star, action hero.
He was a movie
star.
Movie star. He's an actor turned NFL player.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, he was kind of good. I heard.
Yeah. So, but those aren't Super Bowls. Those were NFL championships.
Correct.
Back in those days. So, but it's very nice. Stay with it because you're in too deep now. I see you with the sweat. Listen, when it's over though, it's bliss when it's over. But it's tough while you're going through it. It's bad.
It's not going to be this year. We know that.
They are eliminated.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be any year.
But
no. You can't think like that.
Now. Look, in all seriousness, I mean, you do have if Deshaun Watson can return to anywhere in the vicinity of what he was in Houston before all the stuff happened.
Before life happened.
Life had been happening, but then, the stuff that involved life away from the field happened.
Courtrooms and documents.
If he can keep, all the stuff, at bay and and turn it and be somewhere near the quarterback that he was, they can. I mean, they will be contenders. They will because he's elite. And if you have an elite quarterback, you always have a chance.
He was elite. But the thing is
that's the thing. Is it past tense? Is it plural?
Yeah.
Not plural. Is it past tense?
Cleveland is a quarterback graveyard, and it has been for a long time.
It has been.
So it really wouldn't surprise me if within the next year he gets benched like Derek Carr today.
They really haven't.
They got too much money to
They've never really had elite quarterbacks.
No, quarterback graveyard.
I mean, was Bernie Kosar elite? I don't think he was elite.
They were good.
He was just really, really good.
Bernie and Vinny are the two, and they were good, really good.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl good at one point, I would think, but just
elite.
No.
They weren't.
Not MVPs.
No. I mean,
but then again, it was a different era.
They weren't Hall of Famers.
Oh, no. But really good, though. Vinny Testaverde's got stats that, could suggest maybe, but the stats are more of a compilation.
It was longevity.
Yeah.
Longevity.
He's got the Frank Gore going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, Frank Gore, even though I don't want to open up that discussion because every time I go down that rabbit hole, somebody gets mad. Somebody
I don't know. There's a thing? I didn't know there was a thing.
There's always some
people
dude
who don't
listening
think Frank Gore
in a
is
Frank Gore jersey who goes nuts on me on Twitter because I say Frank Gore is not a Hall of Fame running back.
What?
He's not. He just played a long time. He was really, really good, but he wasn't Hall of Fame.
Okay. You know what? All right. That's fine. We have other things to do today. All right, that's
never
fine.
fails.
That's fine. No. I'm that guy. I'm that guy.
Some dude listening in a Frank Gore jersey
I don't
always
have a
gets
Frank
mad
Gore jersey,
when
but I'm that guy. I'll make that argument, but that's okay.
There's never
another
a season he played where you
another
said
occasion.
Frank Gore is the best running back in the league.
This is not the time or place for this. This is not the time or place for this.
Never happened.
We're not going to do this right now.
We're not. So the real question is, before we transition to another guy who is going to be he's going to be re-gifted this offseason, it looks like, from the news.
Yes.
Okay? What is Deshaun Watson going to be moving forward? Like next season, now that he's had some – I mean, think about it. When he took his first snap this season, it had been, almost 2 years since he had played an NFL game. So now that he's got a little time under his belt, a little seat time back under his belt, what is he going to be moving forward? Does he have a chance to return to prominence, or are we never going to see that guy again? What would be your guess?
I think it's more likely that we don't see the guy we saw in Houston again versus that we will. I think it's more likely that he will not return to that versus then he will return to that. Because once you get there and you come down, it's really hard to get back to being the same guy. Now, can he flash at some point? Will he give us reminder games? Yeah, but will he give us complete seasons like that? I don't know about that. It becomes like Michael Vick. Remember Michael Vick? Michael Vick in the Atlanta Falcons, Michael Vick. Then he went to prison for the dog stuff, and then he got back.
Post-prison, he couldn't return to
Well, he
prominence?
flashed.
He flashed.
He had a game where, or two, where he looked like that guy from Atlanta, but he never put together full seasons where he was that guy from Atlanta. And I think the same could be said for Deshaun Watson. I think we'll see at some point Deshaun Watson. It wouldn't be surprising if Deshaun Watson in some random game next year against the New Orleans Saints, goes off for 360 yards and 4 touchdowns, and everybody be like, oh, my God, he's back. And then we don't see it again. Reminder games, flash games. Just sort of a taste to what I used to be, but I'm really not that guy anymore, not on a consistent basis. So I think that's what we'll more than likely see out of Deshaun Watson. I think we'll see a reminder game next year.
No. Your answer is no.
No.
Yeah,
I think we'll see a reminder game or reminder plays.
Okay.
They'll make us believe, have Browns fans holding their breath, hoping that he's turned the corner, that he's the guy now. And,
Let's go over to the cynical Browns fan table. Desk. Devlin.
I agree. I think more of the reminder plays than games, because he's shown, from what I've seen so far this year, he's shown those reminder plays. I haven't seen a reminder game yet. Obviously, it's been a long time since he's been on the field, but I don't see him going back to what he was before. And that's unfortunate, but also it's the Browns. So, I kind of just expect it at this point.
I think, give him a second. Next year, is when
the
full rollout of him. And that's when I think you'll see a reminder game. Not this year. This year is still trying to get in. But next year, I think, it's some random week. I don't know who or where, they'll be playing Tampa, and then all of a sudden he'll roll out and become this Superman all of a sudden. And then you won't see it anymore. And then everybody will wonder, well, what happened to that guy? That's what I believe anyway.
Why do you think so? He's still 20. He's 27 years old.
Yeah.
So why would he have a flash and not be able to return? He's 27.
He's 27.
Michael Vick was post-prison, was what, in his 30s at that point?
I don't remember, but I really don't. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I don't remember how old Michael Vick was exactly. But I think that the system has changed. I think the offense has changed. The city has changed. The surroundings have changed. I don't think, he's not going to be able to recapture that same thing anymore.
Yeah.
Is DeAndre Hopkins here? He's not here? Oh, okay. Well, this is a little different.
Is he playing indoors? Nope.
Oh, we're not indoors today? Oh, boy, it's really cold out here.
Yeah.
Boy, these fans are into this game. Am I getting booed? He wasn't getting booed in Houston. Not that he gave a lot of reasons to be booed in Houston, but it's just a different animal.
Yeah.
There in Cleveland.
Now the quarterback that is probably going to get regifted this offseason is Derek Carr.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders, yes, I got it right. The Las Vegas Raiders have informed Mr. Carr that he is going to be sitting the final 2 games of the season. What does that mean? It means everybody thinks that that's it for Derek Carr in Las Vegas.
31 years old is Derek Carr.
Yeah.
He's played in Las Vegas or Oakland or wherever his whole career. He's never been anywhere else. Extremely talented. There's no question about that. And he still has 3 years left on his contract. I just looked it up here. He still has 3 years left on his deal. Next year, Darren, Derek Carr is owed $33 million.
He is.
I see. There's a potential out here.
There's all kinds of outs, man. The dead cap situation is nothing.
Yeah, I see it here. Yeah,
here's
the out.
His contract is written that it's easy for the Raiders to part ways. It is easy for them to move on. His dead cap next year is basically $5.5 million.
Yeah.
For a guy that makes, like you said, $33 million.
Yeah.
Set to make $33 million.
Yeah.
Actually, his cap hit would be closer to 35 next year. 34.8.
He never quite became what everyone thought he possibly could be. And he's got numbers now. He's gone for over 4,000 yards, let's see, 18, 19,
Last
20,
year he almost
21.
went for 5,000
He almost went
yards.
for 5,000. This year he's not all that bad. They say, the stat that's been given is he's thrown the league-leading 14 interceptions. And now even that is mind-blowing. You and I both remember when 14 interceptions wasn't all that bad for interceptions as far as, a quarterback would be concerned.
Brett Favre would be like, what's the discussion piece here?
14
what are we talking
interceptions
about?
is just not that many.
Yeah,
in my mind, but apparently that's leading the league this year to show how much of a passing league we're into. Is Derek Carr's got 14 interceptions, and it leads the league. What are you talking about? So, but still, this is where we are. So, okay, his yardage is down, but he's not that bad. I mean, you can give it a go with Derek Carr,
right? But that's not he's not that bad. But is not that bad good enough to get you where you want to be? Like
depends
Ryan
on who you are.
Tannehill's not that bad, but
depends on who you are.
What does that mean? Like, not that bad means, oh, you're not Malik Willis? Oh, okay, great.
Well,
you're not Nick Foles? Oh, well, great. But people aren't interested in not that bad. They're interested, can this dude win it all for us?
Not everybody's interested in that.
Who is it?
The Houston Texans. If you've been swimming around at 2-14 and 1-15, 7-7 doesn't look all that bad. If you're just looking for somebody to get you back to relevance. If you're some of the other franchises here who have not had any hope at all in a long time of doing anything, if you're the Carolina Panthers, and even though I know they're in the playoff run now because their division is really bad, but if you had any success, a guy like Derek Carr that can get you 8 or 9, 10 wins in a year looks pretty good, depending on where you are.
You're not. No, everybody wants to win like that. That's what they're looking for. Can this dude win?
Win
it all? Can we win it all with him?
Win the Super Bowl and win and because not everybody,
Carolina's been to more Super Bowls than the Titans.
Well, that is true. That is
so.
accurate.
Let's not paint a picture that Carolina isn't interested in winning. They've been to more Super Bowls and been in the NFL less time.
That is true.
Than the Titans.
That is true.
So
there's no question.
They're clearly interested in winning.
Yes, but okay.
They're throwing darts. They're just throwing bad darts.
Let's
dull darts.
Let me back up here for a minute because I think we're talking about two different groups of people. I'm talking fans and you're talking organizations. So you're saying it is true. Every organization wants to win the Super Bowl. That is true. From a fan's perspective, there are a lot of fans who would just love to be relevant again, and that's who I'm speaking about. Not necessarily the fans who are trying to win a Super Bowl. Or the organizations who I know are trying to win Super Bowls. There are a lot of fans who would just like to be relevant, who would just like to be back in the game, who would just like to be back in the conversation. That's what some fans are excited about. If you're the Miami Dolphins, I looked this up the other day, the Miami Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in 22 years. Which is unreal to me.
Is that right?
That is correct, sir.
22 years.
They have not won a playoff game in 22 years. Since Stephen Ross bought the team in 2009, they've made one playoff appearance. Wow. I looked this up last night.
Wow.
So this is why they fight so hard for Tua. When you see somebody that can get you somewhere, and Tua's going through some really rough stuff. Look it up, my friend.
I am.
Go for it.
I am absolutely.
Go for it. Look it up. The Miami Dolphins playoff
that.
history. They have not, depending on what website you look at, you'll see they lost a wild card, lost a wild card, lost a wild card.
I know.
But they haven't won an actual playoff game in 20 years, in 2000.
So I do remember. I remember the 2016 Steelers game. They lost that one. They won in 99. They beat Seattle.
Yeah. Then
remember when Seattle was in the AFC?
I do.
Well, that's when they were in the AFC.
Yeah. The old AFC West.
For people out there listening going, how did they beat the Seahawks? Did they beat them in the Super Bowl? No, the Seahawks were in the AFC.
Yeah.
Like, where the Dolphins
and the Houston Astros were in the National League.
So 1999.
And scroll through, you'll see the pile of losses since then. And see, this is what I'm saying. So if you're telling me, if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you're talking about winning the Super Bowl, they are not. I promise you, at this point, they're talking about if we can win us a playoff game, I would feel great right now because we haven't won a playoff game in 22 years. So if Derek Carr can get in here and win us a playoff game, let's try that for a little while.
No, actually, that's incorrect. They beat the Colts in 2000.
Yeah, 2000, yeah.
So they beat the Colts in 2099. They beat the Seahawks in the first round. Yeah, they beat the Colts in 2000.
That was it. Wow. From now until that was it.
By the way, that game was played on December 30th.
Oh, wow. How freaky is
that?
that?
To say, you think the schedule's changed a little bit since then?
Yeah.
December 30th
Or playoff games.
was an NFL playoff game.
Yeah.
We're still in the regular season.
Yes. They showed that during the Titans game. The Titans-Texans. They were showing a clip from Jerry Glanville playing a game against some, I don't know. Anyway, they were playing the AFC, wild card game or something, or division championship game this same weekend back in the 1980s at some point.
So that would have been a Peyton Manning Indianapolis Colts in 2000.
In 2000.
There you go. That was
yeah.
Yeah.
The 2000, wait a minute, when in 2000?
December 30th, 2000.
December 30th,
so it was the 2000 season.
The 2000 season.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Peyton.
So that was Peyton.
Peyton's rookie year was what, 99?
98. 98 was the rookie year.
Right,
the Titans
98.
beat him in 99.
That's right.
And then, the next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll switch gears. We'll come back. Alex Doherty, A to Z Sports. Predators fall last night in a tough one to the Stars. What does that mean for them moving forward? We'll get into all that with Alex Doherty. We'll do that next here on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey Nashville, Ray here from Run With It. Let me tell you about our sponsor, Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House. And with 4 locations in Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Spring Hill, and East Nashville, they're your home for the best gourmet pizza and craft beers in Music City. Join me on Monday nights at the East Nashville location for poker night. And if you think you know everything, try Wednesday night trivia at both locations. Gourmet pizzas, craft beers, online at boombozz.com. Boom Boss Craft Pizza and Tap House.
New Year's Eve in Nashville has a new twist this year.
Touchdown, right up the middle, 45 yards.
The 25th annual Trans Perfect Music City Bowl is Saturday, December 31st at 11 a.m.
Still on his feet, touchdown!
Get your ticket to the biggest party in Nashville as the Iowa Hawkeyes and Kentucky Wildcats square off at Nissan Stadium. For more information on this year's game, including ticket availability, visit MusicCityBowl.com. Presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
Back here on the McFarland Show on this Wednesday afternoon. Darren and Justin here with you. Let's talk a little Preds. with Alex Doherty. He covers them for A to Z Sports. He's on the line with us. Alex, what's going on?
Not much. How are y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. We're doing better than the Preds. That was a tough one last night. Stars leading the division, tied late in the game, and that Hintz dude, Rope Hintz, with a big goal with less than a minute to go, and the Predators skate away with no points from that as they get a little bit closer to the midway point of their season. What did you make of it?
Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate, but you know, it's sort of like they kind of got what they paid for. I mean, they played the Predators played pretty awful in the first period. For anyone that watched that game, I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, they could not get out of their own way. I mean, they had back-to-back delay of game penalties where as soon as one guy came out of the box, the other guy just sent the puck right back over into the stands.
Backhand delay of games penalties.
What's that?
Weren't they both trying to clear backhand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And not even really all that much pressure, just not focusing, right? I mean, it wasn't like they had a ton of guys on them and they just were trying to get it out. It was just lack of focus. And so the penalties, and Dallas was just, you know, they get that goal right a minute in when Jamie Benn just takes the puck off of Tommy Novak and just skates in and scores. But then, you know, the Predators did have a really good second period, and they fought back, and they get the Forsberg gets the goal. They have a chance, a couple chances to go ahead, but then the third period it's the same story. Dallas eventually their forecheck got back to work and just caused more turnovers, caused the Predators to just not be able to clear the puck, and then that really unfortunate sequence for UC Saros when he had done so much to prevent the go ahead goal. But just, you know, he couldn't get to the puck when Rope Hintz found it. So, yeah, I mean, just like that's kind of typical. I will say it's, you know, it was a better, in a strange way, it was a better result than the last time they played the Dallas Stars, which, if you remember, was not even close.
No,
I mean,
was there. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, the Stars were just like, it was domination from start to finish. Both games were like 4-1 and 3-1. So it was better, I guess, an improvement, but still, I mean, it's kind of indicative of this Preds season. They just don't have it. They don't have the guys that are going to be able to make differences in those kind of games.
So what are they doing? I mean, you just said it. I mean, this is what it's been. I was there Friday night against Colorado, a Colorado team that's missing a lot of their big guns. Wasn't overly impressed with the defending Stanley Cup champs, and I know they're about to get McKinnon back. Landeskog wasn't in there, but and they lose. You know, yes, albeit they get a point, but they lose. It's a team right now, the way Colorado, in my opinion, is equipped. It's a game at home you need to win. And they didn't. Mm-hmm. They got a point. So what do we expect to change at this point? I mean, let me ask this before we go down that rabbit hole. When you look at what Dallas put out there last night, who leads the division, and you look at the Predators, is their roster do you look at Dallas's roster and go, oh my gosh, yep, I get it. I get it. I mean, boy, Predators were lucky to even be hanging around. Like when you look at both rosters, why is Dallas so much different than Nashville this year in the standings?
It's really tough because I think Dallas has probably two guys playing just outstanding. I mean, Jason Robertson and Rope Hintz, I think, are kind of a cut above the rest of everyone on that team. But you know, everywhere else, no, it's not an amazing roster that just makes you think, well, this is a stacked, this is like the Lightning or this is the Avalanche.
Yeah. So why?
And so I think it's when you have those two guys, when you have a Jason Robertson who is on his way to being an elite player if he's not already, that makes the difference. And the Predators just do not have that guy. They have three or four really good players: Philip Forsberg, Roman Josi, Matt Duchene. Not this year, but Mikhail Granlund has been that in the past. Are good players, but they are not elite game changers. You know, they're just not. And if you don't have one of those in today's NHL, you just really can't you can't compete with the top 5 teams that all have 1 or 2. I mean, that has been the story for a long time. It's a player-driven league. It's a star-driven league. And until they get that, they will just kind of be in this middle. I mean, they've kind of chosen that path. And I know a lot of Preds fans are upset about that they're not going to go on that route. But there's probably just as many Preds fans that are just okay with them being, at least somewhat competitive most of the time. So it has to do with not having that elite player. They do not have a Jason Robertson on their team or anywhere in their system right now. And until they decide to find one, they're not going. It's not going to appear.
So let me ask you something. I'm just asking your opinion. If Jason Robertson played for the Predators, would his stats look exactly the same? I wouldn't. I'm going to say yes. I actually do think so, and it has to do with something. And I talked yesterday actually with the guys on the show after y'all's. That I think. I really do think that it really is more about the players that can make that difference and less about the coaching. I just think. Okay, just for example, Jared Bednar, when he took over for the Colorado Avalanche, I forget what year that was, maybe 14 or 15. I was going to say it was probably, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. Now, he had Nathan McKinnon, but that was pretty much it. Obviously, no Cale Makar, and Rantanen was just a rookie, and Landeskog was, they didn't really know what he was going to be. So Jared Bednar takes over. He's an AHL guy. He comes directly to NHL. A lot of people had doubts about what he was going to be able to do. Well, then all of a sudden, when he gets Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon healthy and a bunch of other players that are really good, and then a good goaltender, somehow Jared Bednar is a good coach now. I think it has to do with the players. All of a sudden, he got a Cale Makar, who's an insane defenseman, and Nathan McKinnon, who's probably a Hall of Famer in the process. So. All that is a roundabout way of saying I do think Jason Robertson would be just as good on the Predators. I think it has less to do with coaching and more that they don't have the horses. They just don't have it right now. And if they were to find one, they could make a difference. But a lot of people just seem to think that it's about John Hines, and I'm just not there. I don't think that it has to do with John Hines right now. I think it's a personnel. It's an organization doesn't have the strategy to get those players yet.
I'm not suggesting that either, Alex. Okay. I'm suggesting that right now what they're doing is not working. Okay, it's the same thing over and over again. It's not working, and we're past the point of, hey, it's still very early on in the season. Hey, first month of the season. We're past all that. Okay.
Yeah, if we're talking this current season, 21-22. Sorry, 22-23. If we're talking that this current season, totally agree with you. They need to realize that right now what they have is not set up to succeed this year, and they need to start playing guys who could build to next year. Why Tomasino is in Milwaukee doesn't make any sense to me. Why not try to trade some of these older players like a Granlund or a Niederreiter who have some trade value to try to build some draft capital. But yeah, I agree. No, what they're doing now is not working. Totally agree with you on that. I think that if they were to decide finally that is true, if they were to agree with the two of us, they probably wouldn't actually make that decision until January, February. But I think the decision's going to be made for them. I think they're going to be well out of it by the time the trade deadline comes, and they'll have to make a move to sell some of these pieces. So I think that could be coming.
What did you make of what Mark Lazarus put out there on The Athletic in the last, it was probably about, 5-6 days ago?
Yeah, I didn't read the full thing. I do know the kind of the gist of it. I mean, I think he was basically saying the Blackhawks are in a bad place right now, but actually the Predators are worse because they haven't decided to cut the cord and decide to tank for good pieces. And also they've shed a lot of their bad contracts, the Seabrooks and the Duncan Keiths and all that. And they're probably going to trade Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves. So they've decided to go down that route. And I think he's right there. I don't think he's wrong about the Blackhawks are definitely in the right direction, better than the Predators. But, and I'm not saying that he suggested this, but that doesn't mean that the Blackhawks are going to be back to cup contending, in 5 years, right? So easily the Blackhawks could go into an even worse spiral where they don't get the top pick, or for whatever reason these young guys don't work out, and then in 5 years they're right back here. So I think he's right in some ways, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the Blackhawks are going to be hanging more banners, in 5-6 years.
No, I totally agree, and that's how they built this. This is what I was telling Justin yesterday. It's amazing if you go back and look at the NHL draft. Like these teams, Pittsburgh and Chicago, and even L.A., they're two couple. I mean, they got there because people forgot they sucked to get those players. Okay, they went through some really, really dark, lean times. Now it worked out. Right? Because those players were there and available when they were drafting at the top. You're right, but there is no guarantee. I think, and I know Mark Lazarus a little bit, just dealing with him over the years. It's not like we're buds. But, I mean, I know, and I know what he's about. I think what the picture he's trying to paint is, yes, that's how Chicago won 3 cups in 6 years. They sucked. And they got Jonathan Taves, and they got Patrick Kane, and we don't need to go down the list. And that's how it happened. So they're like, well, let's just roll the dice again and see if that can happen again. Meanwhile, the Predators are in this every year, need to get hot in February, need to get hot in March to get in the playoffs, slide in the last second, hey, we're here, and slide on out, when the first round is done.
I think you said it perfectly. Those organizations are risk takers, and they can afford to be risk takers. The United Center, there's no worry that the Chicago Blackhawks are going to leave the area, right? There's no worry that the LA Kings are going anywhere, or Pittsburgh. Like these organizations are very confident that they're going to be fine. But there was a time, as you well know, that wasn't true for the Nashville Predators. And I think that has always been in the back of their mind. They need to keep the team competitive. They need to keep them here. And if you decide to tank, you're going to lose 30%, 40%, 50% of your ticket revenue every year. And all of a sudden you're looking at a building that has 8,000 fans in it every night. And you're no longer, a viable item in the city. I think that's the worry. So they don't want to be risk takers. They want to deal with what they know they can get so that they can just keep going, and maybe one day they spark it the right way and they get hot like the 2019 St. Louis Blues. And, I think that Blues season was probably the worst thing that could have ever happened to the Nashville Predators, because now that's just more suggestion to the organization that, hey, look what happened in St. Louis in 2019. We could do that same thing. They're last place at Christmas, and then they turned it on and got a cup.
Alex, quick question. Were you covering the team last year by chance?
Yes, sir. Since 2014.
Absolutely.
This is my ninth year, yeah.
Wonderful. This is a question I asked Darren a little while ago, several months ago now. How was this team last year have Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene score a record amount of points for the franchise ever as far as goals are concerned, and yet they were an 8 seed in the playoffs? How was that possible?
Okay, so there's a lot of factors. I mean, for one, a lot of those points, a lot of those goals, a lot of that production came on a very good power play. And so when you have a really good power play, I mean, that's a good thing. But at the same time, it does mean that your team, unless you get the power play chances, you're not going to be as productive. So they kind of that was part of it. But the other thing is, last year's Western Conference, last year's Central Division was incredibly loaded. I mean, there were a lot of good teams. Okay. So, I mean, obviously you had Colorado, but you also had, St. Louis, and you had Dallas, and Minnesota was an incredible team last year. And then that's not even talking about the West, with Vegas. So I think that there were a lot of good teams, and there were a lot of really productive teams. So it just was a crowded market, and then they lose their goaltender at the wrong moment. So I think those two factors.
Okay, so that leads me to this next question then. If they had record amounts of goals being scored by two players, and they barely made it in as the 8th seed last year, and you're saying that the Western Conference in their division was loaded last year as well, which was rough on them, have we been fooling ourselves into thinking that this team is actually better than it is this whole time? Is it possible that last year they overachieved a little bit into making us think that they are much better than what they really, and is it possible that what we are seeing this year is what they've really been the whole time?
Definitely. I don't think there's any question. They overachieved in a lot of ways, especially offensively. Guys in contract years playing really, really well. I mean, they're specifically Forsberg. I think that's a big part of it. But I would also caution people to think, this wasn't like a team last year that did everything right. They weren't a very good defensive team last year. Like they were pretty bad defensively. I mean, they took tons of penalties. That's part of why they only got the 8th seed. They were not a very good defensive team. They're not a very smart team. And so I think that they went into this year, okay, we need to fix our defense. We need to get a little smarter. We need to get a little more offensive punch. So they got Ryan McDonough and they got Nino Niederreiter. I think the big surprise is neither one of those additions really did a whole lot to improve those things. Ryan McDonough it's been really tough the first couple months trying to figure out how he's gonna fit in this, and finally they got something that works, and then he gets injured. But no, I don't think it's crazy to think that last year they overachieved and then this year they're underachieving. And in both cases you're dealing with a flawed team. So the underlying structure of this team, the foundation, is still a flawed team, regardless of whether they overachieve or underachieve.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things I've been wondering about in a big way there, as far as But the other thing about it is this, Alex, is okay if they're underachieving, and then we're trying to figure out, okay, well, who are they really? Because they've added pieces, but they seem to be worse somehow, and they've added pieces, and the goal scoring is down. Their average, I just looked, 2.4 goals a game in this NHL. I mean, that's not gonna cut it, man. You gotta do more than that. I mean, that's not a whole lot of I like it, I love it playing there in Bridgestone Arena with that.
No, not a lot. People forgot what the goal song is. No, it's pretty bad. The offense is terrible. There's no way around it. I mean, they cannot score goals. Like last night, them getting 2 goals against the Dallas Stars. I mean, you better hope for a 2-1 win, because you're not getting much more than that. And no, it's pretty bad. I just mentioned the power play. Their power play has been terrible this year. I mean, they finally got a couple goals recently, but that's been a part of it too. So, no, the offense has been horrible. I'm not sure how you fix that, because again, you don't have a lot of new pieces here.
It just sounds like either you're going to need to be dominant defensively, or you're going to have to find a way to score more points. I mean, it's really that simple, I guess. And again, I'm beginning this hockey journey here, but from the outside looking in, it seems pretty obvious. Now, how to do that, I know, is another question, but that seems just to be the obvious thing. Either you got to score more points, or you got to become dominant on defense so that 2.4 wins more games for you.
Yeah, and exactly. And the Hines philosophy has always been get the defense right first. Well, last year they didn't really get the defense right. They just got a little lucky because their offense was pretty good. Now they're trying to fix the defense, and the offense has disappeared. So, yeah, that's the issue. That's where they're at right now.
Alex, appreciate it. Good stuff.
Thank you, Alex.
Anaheim on Friday afternoon, Saturday to close out 2022 calendar year in Vegas. Yikes. Not an easy way to close out the calendar year. And then the road is going to be tough again in January. So we'll see where all this goes. Thanks for the visit, as always. Happy New Year.
Happy
we'll talk
New Year,
to you
sir.
in 2023.
Absolutely, yes. We'll see you again, and Happy New Year to y'all.
Alex Doherty covers the Predators for A to Z Sports. We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show next.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Before you know it, the holiday season will be upon us, so it's time to start planning. If you're having a holiday party or event this year, then you should consider the Omni Nashville Hotel. Have a festive holiday party for your company, family, or friends at the most luxurious location in Music City. All your guests will experience the award-winning service from their well-trained, courteous staff at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Rooms that are second to none, and venues that will be the envy of all your guests. For smaller gatherings, reserve the private dining room inside Kitchen Notes. For a fun party atmosphere, consider bar lines. And for high-end corporate entertaining, choose Bob's Steakhouse. You can't go wrong when you book your party at the Omni Nashville Hotel. For more information or inquire about availability, just call 615-782-5333. That's 615-782-5333. The Omni Nashville Hotel, Music City's holiday party destination.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Your exclusive Nashville Sports Radio WNSR Skyscan forecast. For today, skies are sunny. High temperature 52 with light southerly winds. Clouds on the increase tonight, low to 42. Partly sunny tomorrow, Thursday. Slight chance of a shower, high 59. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on Nashville Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's TJ Matthews.
Sports Radio WNSR.
Good stuff from Alex Doherty. Again, getting phone calls. I know probably listen to that interview. A lot of you want to react, and we feel very comfortable in saying this, I think. Or I shouldn't say we. Since I'm the one saying it, I'll say I feel very comfortable because I know that parts have arrived. That we'll be back up functioning with the phones tomorrow.
Our ownership, and God bless you, Ted Johnson, was in here, and there was a ring at the door, and he shot out of here.
Looked like it was either UPS or Amazon.
Somebody came and he said, he's got my part, okay?
Delivery guy.
He's got my part.
Parts. So we told you yesterday the rolling blackouts affected the station over the weekend, over the holidays, and has done something with the board. And you can call in. Devlin can answer. He can talk to you. But the minute we tried to engage you into the show, you can't hear anything. So the parts did just come before we got on the air today. And I know Adam and Ted are going to tackle it after afternoon stretch is done at 6 o'clock.
Need some time to get in there,
like
and
I said,
do what they need to do.
I won't drag you guys into it because if it's not fixed, I'll be the one that says I shouldn't have said that. Rather than say we, I feel very comfortable that they'll be up and running tomorrow.
I feel comfortable to know that the people here will do everything within their power to get it going again. Now when is it going to happen? I don't know, but I know they want it to happen really bad.
Yeah. So we apologize again, like yesterday. A lot of you wanted to react to the show, and like I said, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to take your calls tomorrow. But in all seriousness, when it comes to this hockey team, I just don't know what's going to change, Justin. I mean, watching this team this season, I mean, you tell me, what is going to change?
I don't know what's going to change, but I wanted to ask if you agreed with Alex in that it is possible that last year this team overachieved and made us believe they are something that they are really not.
Okay, say that again. Sorry, I was reading the tweet.
Sure, I'm sorry. Is it possible that last year this team, remember, one of the first conversations we had about hockey here on the air was about the fact that we had this record-setting goal from two different guys as far as goals scored in a year in the franchise history, and yet they were the number 8 seed. Is it possible that this team overachieved last year and made us believe that they are much better than they really are?
Well, sitting here looking at the body of work through how many games now? Sitting here today, they're through
30-something.
34 games or
Okay.
33 games.
33. Yes.
33 games. Well, the answer is yes. I mean, I don't know how could you answer
Are they
it
underachieving now? That's how you can answer. You can answer and say, well, they were fine where they were last year. They're exactly who we thought they were last year. And this year, this team is underachieving. You could say that, and that's a plausible argument.
Well, here's some of the factors. So,
okay.
Is Matt Duchene's going to score 43 goals this year? It's very clear he's not. No,
it doesn't look like it.
No, he's not. Is Philip Forsberg going to score 42 goals this year? It's pretty clear right now.
He's going to need a heck of a run.
He's going to have to get Now, the month of February is coming up, and he's been known to get red hot in February.
Is
so
that when
we'll
he
see.
did the 6-goal thing last year? Was that February?
He hates it. Don't say Philbuary.
You don't like it?
However
Okay,
you say
I'm sorry.
Going Philbuary.
I didn't mean to. Yeah,
he hates it.
Okay.
So anyway, he's been hot before in the month of February. So we'll see. He'll have to get red hot again. Okay. Yeah. It is highly unlikely he's going to get to 40. Highly unlikely. So let's just say no.
Okay.
Is Tanner Jeannot going to get to 24 this year?
Maybe.
He has 3 goals.
I didn't realize it was that low.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like 7 or 8. No, it's 3.
Would you like to change your answer?
Yeah, then probably
he's
no.
not.
I'm sorry. I thought it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was closer to 10. I'm sorry. I missed it.
Is Roman Josi going to flirt with 100 points this year?
No.
Does that mean Roman Josi's not having a good year? No. It just means he had a season last year that a defenseman hasn't had in the league in 3 decades, 3+ decades. So we kind of knew the odds were that, that wasn't going to be. Is UC Saros having a lights-out year?
No,
he's not.
Not dominant. No.
Is he?
It's not a bad year.
Has he been good? Yeah.
It's not a bad year.
Has he been great?
No.
Has he been bad? No.
No.
He's been good.
He's been,
and at times, really good.
Yeah.
Okay,
couple good games.
Is that enough to save their bacon night in and night out?
Nah.
As we found out, more times than not, no. Is their power play good this year? No, it's bad.
No.
It's really bad. Is the penalty kill good this year?
You've harped on that heavily.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it was good last night. It saved their bacon last night, even though they didn't win. So it didn't save their bacon enough.
But you've harped on the fact that this year, in particular, their penalty kill has not been good.
No, and the Stars are really good power play unit, and they had opportunities last night to put the Predators away, and the penalty kill came through.
But not only that, Darren, this also spent a lot of time in the other team's zone anyway.
Yep.
As a rule. So that would rhyme with the fact that they aren't able to kill the penalty since they're down there as it is most times, and now they're a man short down there.
They take a lot of penalties. They've been doing that. And so if your penalty kill isn't going to be elite, then you're probably in trouble. If your penalty kill is going to hover at or near the bottom of the league, and you're a team that takes a lot of penalties, then that's not a good recipe. That's a recipe for disaster, right? And you heard it when we were talking with Alex. They took 2 delay games almost back to back in a period. 2 delay game penalties. They have taken. I was at the game on Friday. Ryan Johansson took a really bad penalty, a high stick, late in the game, a tied game. Ryan Johansson's been in the league for how long?
Yeah.
He's played how many NHL games?
Yeah.
It's late in the 3rd period, and it's tied, and he put him down a man on a high stick. By the way, high stick penalties drive coaches crazy. You know why?
It's a major.
No. Well, it can be. It could be a double minor if they draw blood, right?
Yeah.
But you control your stick.
Well,
you are in control of that. Last night they had a slashing penalty. It's just right now, like I said, what they're doing isn't working. it's the same. It's starting to look the same night in and night out. Like they'll have, they'll get off to a bad start, or they'll get off to a good start, and then they'll have a patch in the game where they don't look good at all. They'll have a patch in the game where they look good. There's a good chance they'll be tied in the third, and they haven't had a good success closing out teams in the third period, right? They've had a lot of third period woes, which again is not a good recipe.
Yeah. It would just seem at that point then that, if nothing's going to change, and if they are overachieving, if they overachieved last year and now they're underachieving, it would seem as if then pieces need to be moved, as Alex was suggesting. Except he's way ahead on where the Predators seem to be as far as moving pieces, and you have made the argument in the past that there's not a whole lot of pieces that they could actually move anyway. So that means you're just stuck in mediocrity.
And that's why I brought up the Mark Lazarus piece from The Athletic. That's basically what he's pointing out. He's like, well, okay, there's two school of thoughts, or there's two ways of going about this. The Blackhawks, which, by the way, again, goes to tell you, Mark Lazarus was writing that they're basically tanking. That's when I was arguing with Pat. I love him. I love Pat. Thursday, Pat Sperduto. We were arguing at the dealership last week.
Rather loudly,
and he's like, nobody tanks. Nobody tanks. It's like, no, that's not true.
So I had to walk away for a period there.
No, the Blackhawks are tanking. They are. They are tanking. When you deplete your roster of your best players, you are tanking. It doesn't mean the players are going out there trying to lose the players that they have. It just means they have equipped themselves with a lesser roster, which will probably result in lesser wins. And, oh, by the way, isn't that weird? It's played out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, the second worst team or the worst team in the league.
And they're probably scouting the draft as we speak.
It's weird how that works. You get rid of all your best players except for Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews, and you suck. Isn't that weird how that happens? It doesn't mean that they put out memos saying we're tanking. It just means there are ways to tank without telling the world you're tanking.
Yes.
Okay? And so Mark Lazarus is saying the Blackhawks are tanking, okay? They're in rebuild mode. And we'll definitely know that at the trading deadline if they try to trade away Toews and Kane, right? Then you know it's completely on. Like they are going to bottom this thing out and start over, right? And that's what they're doing already. But once you do that, that's the last pieces. And then he's saying, or you can do what the Predators are doing. And they're just kind of in mediocrity. They're just kind of in the middle of the pack. They're just in the middle.
If Patrick Kane and company go elsewhere within the division or even within the conference, are not the Predators now even further behind as a result of not getting in the game if they don't go out and make a major move?
Say that again.
If Patrick Kane,
right,
or and Toews or whoever else, if they move within the Western Conference, go to another team and make the rich richer, are the Predators now even further behind now those teams because they've gotten stronger and they have yet to get stronger at all. They're right where they were. So now Chicago has gone down, but they were already down. Now the other teams are stronger.
They need to go to the other conference. Is that what you're saying?
It would behoove,
especially Kane.
I'm just saying that at this particular moment, if the other teams are going to continue to get better and you're not, then what's happening here? Because what you're setting yourself up for is a prolonged period now. At the end of at the bottom of the Western Conference, and that's not healthy for anybody.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to play out there. I think Kane is the bigger piece. Toews is, he's meant a lot to the Blackhawks organization. I think he's definitely on the back nine.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Kane is the more attractive piece. Kane still plays at a very high level. But you're right. I mean, if they get traded within the division or the Western Conference, then that just adds a really nice piece to somebody who's obviously, if they're doing that, they're already good, right? Because if you're trading for those guys, you're trying to
make a run.
You're trying to get one more piece that you think is going to make your magical run.
You're trying to make a run. And if you're building through the draft, these guys aren't going to come in lights out. They're going to need time. They're going to need a couple years. And if you're going to need a couple of years, you're looking at a couple of years of not good hockey potentially over at Bridgestone Arena, which is something I know the city doesn't want. It's something the Predators don't want, but it's just a reality of the situation. Perhaps, unless there's a major move somewhere that they can make. And I'm talking about like earth-shattering and quickly, because the guys they have are clearly not cutting it, at least not this year. And if my estimation is correct, they really weren't cutting it last year. They were just doing well because of a couple of breaks and having some hot streaks. But in all reality, the team wasn't really all that great last year, because now it's reflecting on us this year. We're seeing it. We're seeing what they really are.
We'll come back. We'll begin the second hour with our NFL Top 10 going into Week 17. And then after that, we'll go down to Miami. We'll check in with Vince Ferrara, who's down there with the Vols. I don't know if people know this, realize they play the Orange Bowl on Friday. Yeah, it'll be Tennessee.
Whole lot of orange.
And Clemson.
The orangest Orange Bowl ever.
Yes. We'll come back. Hour number 2 of the McFarland Show next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Alexis Christoforous. The meltdown of Southwest Airlines operations has led to 5,000 cancellations in 2 days. At Chicago's Midway Airport, Kathleen Hardy flew in on a one-way ticket from Phoenix on United Airlines after Southwest canceled her original reservation. She says while the storm impacted all airlines, Southwest dropped the ball.
Other airlines seemed to know what to do, had plans in places, because certainly the weather affected them. Much more organized than this.
The CEO of Southwest has apologized to all affected. The death toll in Erie County, New York, following the blizzard has climbed to 34. The majority are in Buffalo, where crews are still trying to check on residents and clear more than 4 feet of snow from roads. In Michigan, Barry Croft Jr. was sentenced to more than 19 years in prison in the plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. This is ABC News.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off.
Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now at 615-844-5600.
Alrighty then.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour on this Wednesday. McFarland Show, Darren and Justin here with you. Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. We'll head down to Miami. Check in with Vince Ferrara, our man down there. Vols and Tigers. Tennessee and Clemson set to do battle Friday night at Hard Rock Stadium.
That's a really orange bowl.
That is really orange.
You know, it's too bad they're not going to let both teams wear their orange jerseys. I mean, that would be fun to watch, but a mess to watch all at the same time.
Yeah, I don't think Tennessee, after this year wearing the orange, is going to wear the orange unis.
Well, you mean...
Wasn't that in the South Carolina game?
Yeah, they were wearing the orange helmets.
I mean, I guess the orange helmets.
Yeah. I mean, the orange uniforms are fine, but the orange helmet is what they rolled out that I think will forever be burned.
I was just saying.
And
banned. Will they ever use that helmet again?
I think that all of those helmets, I don't think you can buy one of those helmets right now. I think they've all been thrown into the river at this point. If they may have been turned to ash at this point.
All right, it is time for our NFL Top 10, Justin. Going into Week 17.
Let's do it.
All right. I've got some changes at the top.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We got a first-timer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. First-timer in the number one spot.
On the number one spot?
At the number one spot.
Let's do it.
Philadelphia was there last week. Let's see. How long have I had Philadelphia? Philadelphia was there the week before. So it looks like 3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row I've had Philadelphia number one. The San Francisco 49ers, my friend, are the best team in the NFL right now.
Okay. All right. Go. That's what we're doing?
Oh, no, that's definitely what I'm doing.
Is Joe Montana playing?
I just did it.
Is Joe Montana back? Did I miss it?
Nope.
I stepped out to the restroom for a minute.
Nope.
Did Joe Montana announce his?
Nope. Steve Young
Steve
either.
Young?
Nope.
Steve Bono?
Nope.
No?
Colin Kaepernick? Nope.
No?
Nope.
They didn't.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Y.A. Tittle?
Nope. Well, I was just trying to think of quarterbacks that have played for them in the Super Bowl. Steve Young.
Okay.
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 quarterbacks that have been in 49ers Super Bowls.
Which, to tell the truth, is actually really impressive. The fact they've had 4 different quarterbacks playing for them in the Super Bowls. But anyway.
And at this pace, it'll be Brock Purdy.
If that's what you think. So here we go.
Well, you laughed. You clearly are not watching the 49ers.
I've seen the 49ers.
You're
really
not
nice.
watching their games. They're not only winning.
People have been accusing me of not watching a lot of football lately.
They're dominating games. Mm-hmm. They have the nastiest defense in the NFL.
They do. Defense is very good.
They have Christian McCaffrey running the football.
Yes.
They have weapons. Deebo Samuel, we know, has been banged up. They'll get him back, but they have guys that just plug and play. And same thing they've been doing at quarterback. They started with Trey Lance. They then went to Jimmy Garoppolo, and now there was some Purdy dude named Brock.
From Iowa State, don't you know? Don't you forget it either.
Don't say Iowa. The San Francisco 49ers, my friend, are the number one team in the National Football League.
All right.
At number 2, the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to keep them there. They were 2 last week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're perfect. I don't really think anybody's perfect.
No.
But there are dangerous teams, and Buffalo is a dangerous team. They just are. They have all the weapons. No Von Miller, that was a loss, but they'll have to figure out a way without him. But I still think the Bills are the best team in the AFC right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to have Buffalo at number 2. Item 2 last week. Number 3, Philadelphia. I'm going to slide Philadelphia back to 3. By the way, pretty good performance in Dallas.
Yeah.
Couldn't beat them.
Gardner Minshew.
It's not like, they lost 40-10.
Not at all.
Without Jalen Hurts. They were right in that game and could have won the game.
Very, very easily.
And they had Gardner Minshew.
Mm-hmm.
So, Philadelphia's a good team.
Yes.
Because Jalen Hurts is in the MVP conversation. They were without their MVP conversation quarterback, and they still almost went to Dallas and won.
Yes.
With some guy named Minshew.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, used to be with the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
At number 4, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Very nice.
Are at number 4.
Interesting.
Because the Bengals and the 49ers are the 2 hottest teams in the NFL. Period. The Bengals are getting right at the right time.
It would seem. They're
Mixon
very hot.
is back in the backfield. So now they've got the two-headed monster in P. Ryan and Mixon running the football.
Boy.
They've got an elite quarterback.
They're loaded.
In Joe Burrow. Now, La'el Collins, that could affect them. Collins got hurt. And so that's their big left tackle, and so we'll see. I haven't seen the latest on Collins. I don't know if they've come out and said anything yet on him, but if La'el Collins is out for a while or for the season, that'll probably affect Cincinnati.
Well, I mean, they got sacked 9 times last year, still won a football game, so, I don't know.
Well, they didn't have him.
Okay.
They revamped that offensive line. So last year's offensive line is not in the equation. So Cincinnati is the 4th best team in the National Football League. The Kansas City Chiefs slide back to 5. I mean, I like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They keep winning,
They
just keep winning. They're not overly impressive, but they have Patrick Mahomes. They have the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And they have the best tight end in the league.
Yeah.
So when you have the best at 2 positions, especially when it comes to offense, then you're good. So Kansas City is still in the house of really good.
Some people say the best tight end ever. I don't know. It's a conversation for a different day.
It's.
Go ahead.
He
just want to slide that in there.
He belongs in the conversation. I don't know if he is or not. I mean, I could give you 5 tight ends.
I don't
want to
get you started
quickly.
on that, Darren. That's not where I'm at.
You know what I
didn't
mean?
mean to get you going on that.
That belong in that conversation too, and who knows where he stacks up to them. So Kansas City at 5. I've got Dallas at 6. Look, Dallas is still very good. I don't know. I watch them every time. I want to be impressed. There's just things about them that still leave me going, So I don't know how they give up 34 to Gardner Minshew in Philadelphia when their defense is really good. It's an elite defense in the league. I don't know if you've noticed, but that Micah Parsons guy can play. He's really good.
Oh, yeah.
There's that guy Diggs. He's related to Stephon. He's a corner. He's really good too.
Very good.
So
skilled positions.
Yeah, they've got a really good defense. And by the way, they can get to the quarterback. So Dallas is 6, and of course Dallas will be here tomorrow night taking on the Titans. And look, if Dallas loses that game, then they will be. You just mark it down, Devlin. You can go ahead and put that in the McFarland Show notes. If Dallas loses, they'll be out of my top 10 next week. 100%. They're out. They're out of the top 10.
Dang.
If they come in here and lose to the Titans, they're out. But for now, they're at number 6.
Okay.
Minnesota at number 7. Don't love them. Don't hate them.
Not a believer.
They find a way to keep winning. And look, that's a good win over the weekend. They beat the Giants. That's a good win.
Yeah.
But I don't believe they're better than the teams in front of them.
Yeah.
So Minnesota is at number 7.
Just not a believer. That's fair.
The LA Chargers are starting to get right. They have punched their ticket into the playoffs. You could tell that Keenan Allen, they missed him for half the season. You can tell the difference he made. What do you have? 15 targets the other night. Was it Monday night? He had 15 targets. He had like 11 catches for 100 and something yards. Keenan Allen, this just in. He's kind of important to them. Mike Williams. Austin Eckler is really, really good in the backfield. And, by the way, they have Justin Herbert. So the L.A. Chargers are at number 8. Baltimore is at number 9. They don't have Lamar Jackson. They still find a way to keep winning, albeit some of these wins are against really crappy teams. But they're beating really crappy teams with, a backup quarterback named Huntley. So Baltimore belongs in the top 10. They're at number 9. And sliding into my top 10, because the Dolphins have lost, 4 in a row? Is that right? 4 in a row? 5 in a row? I don't know. No, the Titans have lost 5 in a row. The Dolphins have lost 4 in a row. The Dolphins slide out, enter the New York Giants. I know they lost, but the New York Giants, I think they're going to get in. They're going to get in, and I think they belong in the top 10. So that's my top 10.
So that's your top 10. There you are, everybody, with Darren McFarland and his top 10. All right, everybody, let's get going here. Top 10 for me on this day is December the 28th, 2022. My top 10 are as followed. It is not the San Francisco 49ers at the top of my top 10, not at all. It is the best quarterback in football, and that is Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. They remain at number one on my list. Somebody's going to have to go beat them in the playoffs. It's going to be a tough game. This is why Kansas City's number one for me. I don't want to play Patrick Mahomes in January. I just don't. He's a tough out. Not that everybody else is not. I just think he's the toughest out of all the outs out there. How about that? He is, I think, number one, and that's why the Chiefs are number one on my particular list. Plus, a quarterback as good as Patrick Mahomes, you would think, are going to win multiple Super Bowls at some point. He doesn't seem like a guy that just wins one. Now, there's been other great ones who've just won one. Happens all the time. Drew Brees won Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers won Super Bowl. It happens. So we'll see. All right, number two. The Buffalo Bills are the number two team on my list. I just like them slightly better than my number three team. That's all I can really say. They're number two because I like them a little bit better than number three. Who's number three? The Philadelphia Eagles. They are number three, even though they caught the L this weekend against the Dallas Cowboys. I understand that. They also didn't have Jalen Hurts in the game with them. Now, you can say to yourself, well, Justin, Jalen Hurts don't play defense, though. What happened to the defense? Gotcha. Understood. While games happen, is it possible Jalen Hurts makes one more play at the end of the game than Gardner Minshew was able to make? Yeah. Is it possible they could win that game instead? Yeah. Would that change the conversation about who they are if they did win that game even though they gave up 40 points? Yeah. Because it's the NFL, and no one really looks at the point total. They only look at wins and losses. That's the only thing that really counts. Philly remains the number three for me. Number four, the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings are going to be a tough team to get to. And the reason why I say that is because I'm looking already at the way the schedule is lining up. And when I say the schedule, I don't mean the regular season schedule. I mean the playoff schedule. I mean the standings and the way the standings are going to rack up here. And I understand the 49ers are very, very good. And yes, they are. There's no question about it. But at this point, Minnesota is the number 2 seed and the 49ers are the number 3 seed. If they met in the playoffs, that game is in Minnesota. And yes, there have been plenty of playoff meltdowns and historic things happening in Minnesota in the playoffs. But you're asking San Francisco to go on the road, to go to Minnesota to win that game, to the bank up there. I give the slight edge to Minnesota in that game, and that's why they're ahead of the 49ers here, who are at number 5, by the way. The 49ers are at number 5. I'm not sure if the Brock Purdy thing, I don't know if this is going to run into January. This has been nice. It's been cool. It's been Cinderella. You know, we'll see if he can carry them through January football and make it the greatest story in the history of pro football since Kurt Warner and Tom Brady. That's what we're talking about. If Brock Purdy makes his way to the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers, as Darren suggests, that means this is one of the best stories in the history of the NFL. This is Kurt Warner, Tom Brady level stuff that we're talking about if that happens. Seriously, it is. And Kurt Warner goes from the Iowa Barnstormers to winning the Super Bowl. This is like that. Because nobody knew who Brock Purdy was and didn't care outside of Ames, Iowa. And now we all know his name. So we'll see. Number 6, the Cincinnati Bengals.
They've won 8 in a row, just so you know.
That's fine.
Just putting that out there.
Is it January yet?
Oh, I didn't know we were. Are we predicting the playoffs? I didn't know we were.
All right, number 6.
We were just doing through week 7.
That's fine. Number 6 is Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are obviously a very good football team. They obviously are the AFC champions. They obviously are, set to go for another run today. It's obvious to them that they don't care if they play on the road or play at home. Those silly things don't matter to them. Joe Cool and company are going to breeze into town and see what they can do. I still think that the toughest out is in Kansas City and Buffalo, but we'll see if the Bengals can do it. We'll see, if they got what it takes. I think they're at number 6. Number 7 are the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not a big believer in the Cowboys. They've got weapons, but I've got trauma from the Cowboys. The Cowboys have traumatized me throughout the years. I've got to see them do it. It's like Alabama and Tennessee at this point. Remember Alabama and Tennessee during that game? we thought Tennessee could win the game, but we weren't sure because we hadn't seen it in so long. I feel that way about the Cowboys. I feel like they've got talent. It's clear they have talent. Can they actually get it done? I don't know. Number 8, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are at number 8 for me. I know Lamar Jackson's been out. They continue to lose games. They're backing their way into the playoffs, into this division. And, it's very interesting to me. But they're number 8 right now as we continue on. Yes, they've won a couple of games. They lose games. They're quirky and all kinds of interesting things. But right now, they're number 8 on my list. And, yes, they're getting set for the playoffs. And Lamar Jackson will come back. Will he be the Lamar Jackson of old? Who knows? But we'll see. Number 9. The New York Giants coming in at number 9 on my particular list. And then to round it off is your Washington Commanders coming in at number 10 on my particular list. Now, there's a team that's missing off of my list that I know people will have questions about. And you'll say, well, Justin, what happened to the Los Angeles Chargers? I don't hear the Los Angeles Chargers. I didn't see the Los Angeles Chargers on your list. And you will be correct in that. And that's because I'm not a big believer in the Chargers. I'm not buying it. I understand everybody thinks they're the best thing ever.
You're a believer in the Commanders.
I'm not buying the.
They're going back to Carson Wentz.
I'm not buying the Chargers. I believe they're okay.
But you're a believer in the Commanders who don't have a quarterback.
I believe the Commanders are the number 10 team. I'm not a big believer in the Chargers.
Without a quarterback.
Listen, they get out there and figure it out.
They're benching
they're doing.
Taylor Heineke.
Listen, I got you. You listen.
They're starting Carson Wentz.
If you want to continue to look for things that make sense, tangible things, you continue to go for it. How are the Lions doing, by the way? Are they in the playoff hunt? How's that going for you?
They're not out.
They're
not out.
But are they? How's that going for you? Is it going okay?
You just like to. All your knock against the Lions was history.
Listen,
we're not talking about history. We're talking about this season.
They lost again, didn't they?
Right.
Did they lose? Okay.
So you think today the Chargers are worse than the Washington Commanders today?
I don't.
Today.
I wonder
right now.
I
right
honestly
now
wonder.
today.
I wonder if they're much better.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
The Chargers have 0 quality wins on the year. None.
0 quality wins on
Go
the
ahead
year.
and look at the list.
Okay.
You won't find any.
Okay.
They've got a bunch of losses. They haven't beat a playoff team this year.
Okay.
Not a one.
Well, that didn't stop you with the Titans.
Yeah.
Love Fest.
What about the Love Fest? How is it Love Fest? Are they on my top 10? I missed the Titans. Are the Titans on my top 10?
They were going into Week 15. They were still in your top 10.
But they're not in the top 10 now, are they?
I understand.
Were they in the top 10 last year? Last week?
You had them in Week 15 still in your top 10.
But what about now? What about, are they there?
So
I don't see them.
I know, but and my exact point was they haven't beaten anybody, and you're like, so?
Check this list again. Let's see.
That was your – did he not say that, Devlin? I was like, the Titans haven't beaten anybody. You're like, so?
But you got the Chargers in yours, and they haven't beaten anybody. So what? So why are you attacking my list now?
Chargers beat the Titans.
The Titans are not in the playoffs.
Chargers beat the Titans.
Not in the playoffs. Not in the playoffs.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, you're looking at the list now. You're changing your tune. You're looking at the list. You're looking at the schedule. You're looking at the schedule, right?
No.
Yeah, you're looking at the schedule. How's that list look? How's that list looking at the schedule?
Washington Commanders are going back to Carson Wentz.
I'm just saying, you're looking at that. You're looking at that Chargers schedule over there, and you're like, you know what? I don't see a whole lot here.
Where are the phone lines today?
They beat Holy Cross in the Citadel.
Let's go to Eric. Let's go to Nate. Let's go to Tony. Let's go. I mean,
check out that schedule. You tell me.
The Washington Commanders. Get out of here with that stuff. Jeez. Carson Wentz. Classic loser. Classic loser.
Hey, listen. I'm not gonna sit over here and pretend like
You're
he's won a whole lot of football
Carson
games.
Wentz.
I'm backing the Washington Commanders.
Oh, okay. Who are now being led by Carson Wentz
and Ron Rivera.
Yeah, and I like Ron Rivera.
Ron Rivera. My faith is really more in Ron Rivera than Carson Wentz.
He's a good coach.
And that's kind of where I'm going with that. Do I trust Ron Rivera and the Washington Commanders versus Justin Herbert and we ain't beat nobody today, the Chargers? Yeah.
Ready? Break. We'll come back. We'll head down to Miami. Man, I wish we could take calls today.
Come on with it. You know I'm ready.
We'll talk to Vince Ferrara. Oh, they'll be waiting tomorrow.
Oh, come on with it.
We'll have the phones up tomorrow.
Come on.
Vince Ferrara. He's going to join us next.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
From the big game to the big dance, Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the Bar Line staff take care of you. Grab a Bar Line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs or a Bar Line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Lines, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown. Grizz Nation, grind into the new year. Watch Ja, Jaron, and your Grizzlies take on the Pelicans Saturday at 7 p.m. Get there early in the first 5,000. Get Dylan Brooks sunglasses. Then stay tuned for back-to-back home games and catch your Grizz Sunday at 7 as they take on the Kings to kick off 2023. Get ready to celebrate a new year and get your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or shopgrizzlies.com today. On your home for Memphis Grizzlies basketball. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Back here on the McFarland Show. Darren and Justin here with you. Strike and Spare Family Fun Center Studio. Dang it, I wish we had phones today. Spirited show. I like spirited shows.
We're getting reaction on Twitter about our debates here.
Yeah. By the way, I did not see this when I made this comment, but I was looking during the break, and I said if Dallas loses,
they're out of your top 10.
They're out of my top 10?
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel?
Yeah.
Just put out there to the media. Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Simmons. Big Jeff?
Yeah.
He's out.
Okay.
Ryan Tannehill? Okay, no surprise there.
Yeah,
he's out.
Kind of known that. Yeah.
Nicholas Petit-Frere?
Yeah.
Out.
Okay.
Amani Hooker? Out.
Okay.
Bud Dupree? Out. Zach Cunningham? Out. Dylan Cole, out. Danico Autry, doubtful.
Out.
Christian Fulton, doubtful.
Out.
Derrick Henry, doubtful.
Out.
Again, if the Cowboys lose to that team, they wake up.
Devlin, what is wrong?
They go.
What's wrong with Devlin? Devlin, what's wrong?
He said doubtful, and you immediately knew he was not playing this week.
No,
I thought it was hilarious.
Out.
Oh,
he's
just
out. And it's okay. We all know what time it is. It's okay. Listen, the majority of the people there tomorrow night are going to be there for the Cowboys anyway. Come on. There's going to be a lot of Dallas stars walking around Nissan Stadium tomorrow.
Oof, looks like they are, I guess, putting all their eggs and their chips in that Jacksonville basket.
It's a playoff game.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguar game is officially a playoff game. Let's just call it what it is.
Man,
it's a playoff game. It's a road playoff game for this football team.
I think we have made contact with Vince Ferrara down in Miami, Florida. He's down there covering the Vols. Clemson Orange Bowl, which will take place on Friday evening. Vinny, how we doing?
I've been better. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes, sir.
We got you.
Good.
Are you leaving Hard Rock Stadium?
No, I am fighting insanity in downtown Miami traffic with like 8 lanes and people driving like it's a video game. Loads of fun.
From somebody who has visited Miami many, many times over the years, yeah. No, I think the two, Dallas is a different reason, and you know Dallas. Dallas.
I live there, yeah.
Yeah, Dallas thinks they're on the Autobahn. Like if you're not going 90, you better get out of the way.
The thing about Dallas, though, everybody's got big cars.
They've
too.
got
in Dallas.
big,
they got the big trucks,
big
the
cars,
big SUVs, the
big
wide
engines.
tires.
Yeah. And they're like, if you are not going 90, get the hell out of the way. Miami's a little bit different. They got the Lambos and they got the Ferraris, and so yeah, it's nuts.
Well, yeah, and you kind of alluded to it there. It's the conflict. Because you got the retirees, you got the locals, and you got the speedsters. That is what makes it a dangerous mix. All of them, all those worlds merging at the same time, and you add frustration and way too many people sardined. Yeah, that's what makes this worse than Dallas.
Okay, so we're sitting here on the Wednesday before a Friday game. What makes Tennessee dangerous in your mind to win this game over Clemson?
I think it's the culture that they've got. I think they've bounced back so nicely from the disappointment in South Carolina. I mean, we talked about it all year leading in that they didn't have any games where they looked at it one game more than the other, and they clearly overlooked South Carolina. But I think since then they've handled things great. They did against Vandy, and we've done so many interviews. It's been wild how much avails we've had, and all those guys are saying the right things and look the right way. I've seen them practice here in Miami, and they have great energy. Guys know what an opportunity this is on a big stage and to close out the season and not let people continue to talk about South Carolina and let them talk about them winning on a big stage. So I would say it's that motivation and the culture they have to come together and overcome the players that are missing, which I think there's more missing on the Tennessee side than the Clemson side. I think that's the biggest reason why they're dangerous, even though they do bring some other things to the table, as does Clemson.
How do they fill the void of their two biggest weapons at wide receiver and Jalen Hyatt and Tillman not playing?
Well, Darren, the biggest way to do that is Ramel Keaton, who's played a ton of ball because he's had to fill in for Cedric Tillman so much this year, and even Brew McCoy at times also. So he's plenty worthy of that. When we looked at the game notes and they had the two deep for this bowl game, the 3 starting wide receivers were Brew McCoy, which is no surprise, who announced that he is coming back for next season. That's great for Tennessee to have a number one and another new breakout star potential, as Tillman was 2 years ago, as Hyatt was this year, and then Brew McCoy next year. And then Keaton, and then the third one was Squirrel White, who saw his playing time pick up as the year went on, and he's got just crazy speed. So those are your 3. What makes it interesting / dicey is Tennessee only has 2 other receivers that they list on their 2 deep. and one of which we've seen a little bit in some blowouts in Walker Merrill, a second-year receiver from in-state. And then the other is Chaz Nimrod from Arkansas, who is a freshman who played sparingly on special teams. So that's pretty much what they trust and have right now. Now, this coaching staff does not play a ton of wide receivers. So, but the guys that are moving up into greater roles, specifically Squirrel White, is he going to have the gas tank to be able to go starter type of snaps at that tempo? And how much do you give him a breather for other guys that also don't have quite as many snaps? Or what if somebody goes down, it can get dicey. Another way around it is they'll use tight ends and running backs to split out. So I imagine that's how they'll sort of manage that also, but it's not a deep group, but I think they'll be okay with the guys that'll start, just not as explosive and proven.
So Alex Golish is out of the mix, right? He's on to your alma mater as the head coach. So he's
Correct.
not coaching in this game.
Nope.
So how do they fill that void? How do you think that dynamic's going to work?
Another excellent question, Darren. You do crab cakes and excellent questions. So
I do. Yes. Yes.
Not necessarily in that order.
I was going to say not in that order. Depends on the day.
But yeah, it will be Josh Heupel calling plays. We were firing those questions out at Joey Halsley, the quarterback's coach, today, and he, after initially kind of saying it'll be communal and a group effort, and it typically is. It has been this year when it's a group effort with him, Golish, and Heupel. With Golish pulling the trigger, Heupel and Halsley had, some influence and some suggestions, things like that. But it'll be Josh Heupel. It's an easy transition for him. Now, I think Halsley is far and away the front runner for that position. I asked Halsley today about him being a candidate for that role, and he said, yeah, we're putting all that off until after the bowl game. Honestly, that's another reason to think that he's in a great position to get it. If they're just going to table it to get through this game and then look for it after that, rather than, oh my gosh, we got to find an OC. I think the more likely scenario is he gets elevated to offensive coordinator / quarterbacks coach, and they go hire a tight ends coach that can also have another title, maybe a recruiting type of role. So that's how they're doing it. Halsley will be the eyes and the feedback from the press box to give that feedback that they normally would do, only it'll go to Heupel on the field rather than Golish sitting right next to him, which has been the dynamic during the season.
What would you say, in your opinion, is Clemson's strength? What will Tennessee have to be looking out for on the Clemson side of things?
For sure, the defense. And they're even without two of their top 3 NFL draft prospects in Miles Murphy and Trenton Simpson. Murphy is an opt-out. Simpson is injured, so he's sitting out. But look, they have still have Brian Breeza, who is a top 5, top 10 projected draft pick on that D line. They have Jimmy Himes, who's with me from the station. We were going through this. Pro Football Focus has 6 Clemson front 7 players in their top 113 for the draft. 6 from one front 7 for the NFL draft. That tells you they're deep with quality players. KJ Henry is a crazy talent. They have a number of guys. Henry, actually, interestingly enough, is good friends with Hendon Hooker. He told us that story today, and he said he's actually talked to Hooker since his surgery, and those guys are good friends. There's a number of connections between the two sides, but that's a side note. But yeah, it's that front 7. I asked Joe Milton about that front 7, and he said, well, people wanted him to compare Clemson to an SEC team. He really couldn't come up with one, because he said they're really, really good. So they might be even better than anything Tennessee has seen this year. That says a lot considering it faced Alabama with Will Anderson, who Darnell Wright did a great job against. But the way they get after the quarterback, what they do with stunts on that front seven. So they're talented and they'll mix things up. Also, absolutely, that front seven is the biggest challenge for Tennessee / strength for Clemson.
Well, just lighten it up here a quick second, Vince, and talk about some of the other things surrounding the game. I've checked on the Vols Twitter page. I've seen the guys from the team out in yachts. I've seen them out on the beach. I've seen them they seem like they're taking advantage of the fun of Florida and not just the work to be done.
Yeah, my invites to those, I think, got caught up in traffic also, so it never got to me. We actually the media was allowed to go to the beach outing. Each team, Clemson's is today, and by the way, not to pile on, finally we have nice weather today. It's beautiful, but you get like 15 minutes of viewing at the beginning of it, and then they give you the peace sign to start stepping. It was a long way to go to shoot a shot of the beach, which we can do on our own at any other time. But those guys said they had fun doing that. The weather finally warmed up, which is all of them were talking about the weather. We interviewed 2 coaches and 10 players yesterday, 2 coaches and 10 players today between the 2 teams. And then we get Heupel and Sweeney tomorrow together. So we've had a ton of interviews, and almost all of them have talked about the weather. And man, when we got here, we thought it was like Alaska, and it was nasty. It was cold and wet. So those guys are at least getting a chance to enjoy what Miami was supposed to be when you found out you were going to this bowl game, when we all got excited about the weather potential. So they're being able to, that was big for them. And then the yacht, some guys are doing karaoke. They fed them, of course. A number of guys said they had never been on a yacht before. So, again, cool new experiences for those players. And then I asked Joe Milton about the yacht and if he did any karaoke, and he said, no, not any singing, but I ended up kind of being the DJ on the yacht. I kind of jumped in there and started leading that. And so I said, so leadership qualities, huh? And he started laughing. He's like, yeah, he's needed for his leadership during this time where he's QB1, and he showed it there. So he was their DJ. I even asked Cooper Mays. I just did a Ball Network interview with him, and I said, I heard you guys had a DJ on the yacht, and he started smiling. So I said, do you know who that was? He's like, yeah, I'm going to say it was Joe Milton. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. So, just cool stuff like that. Yeah. It's been neat we've had a chance to talk one-on-one with those guys. So they've been cool to share a lot of those stories of what they've done outside of football.
DJ Joe Milton. So Vince, appreciate it. I know it's been a lot of fun. It's going to be the orangest Orange Bowl ever. I can only think of 4 teams in major college football with orange as the primary color. The Vols, obviously, Clemson, Oklahoma State, and Syracuse. So anytime you get to have the orange on orange action here at the Orange Bowl, I'm not sure if most of America is ready for this yet.
And only one has a quarterback that can throw an actual orange 110 yards, as Joe Milton recently did at a Tennessee practice. He went 100 yards. That was on video. A reporter asked him about throwing it 100 yards. He's like, no, actually it was 110. I mean, if you can brag about throwing an orange 110 yards, you do it. Not many in the world can do that. Wes Goodwin, the DC at Clemson, said he's got about as strong an arm as we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Tyler Davis that knew him said he can throw the football from his knees 80 yards. So Tennessee's got a unique guy. It'll be fun to see him on Friday.
Benny, appreciate the visit. And I had a line, but I'm not going to use it. Maybe we'll talk to you Thursday or Friday for more coverage before the game.
Offline.
Well, I know I had a good line, but it's a bagging on myself, so I'm going to leave it out.
Okay.
Appreciate you
Great
doing
questions,
this.
grab kicks, and judgment. apparently,
Yo,
from time to time.
Baby Ruth in the punch bowl is where I was going. But I'm going to leave that Joe Milton comment alone. Going to leave it right here on the doorstep.
Don't do it.
Don't
Thank
do
you.
it. Hey, appreciate it. Keep having a good time, and we'll talk soon.
All right, see you guys. Appreciate it.
Vince Ferrara, 99.1, the sports animal in Knoxville. But right now, 99.1, the sports animal is in Miami, not in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Good stuff from him. We'll come back. More of the McFarland Show on the other side. WNSR.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here.
Today on Hey Culligan, soft water, cleaner environment. What do you say, Greg?
Hey Culligan, are you saying if I have a Culligan high-efficiency water softener, I'm also helping the environment?
It sounds like you're saying it, Greg, and yes, you are, because with the Culligan high-efficiency water softener, you'll use less detergent, soap, and harsh chemicals, and that's good for the planet.
Now you're saying it.
You bet I am, Greg. Soft water and a cleaner environment is already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. You can stream live, local, and primetime regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more. That's how you do it right there. This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a Bill King Show.
If Nick coached another 7-8 years, I would not be shocked at all. I wouldn't be. Now, I'm not predicting it because I don't think you can predict that kind of thing. We don't know that. If he coached to 80, I would not be flabbergasted.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
All right, back here on the McFarland Show. I told Justin.
Yeah.
My Baby Ruth in the punch bowl comment was, I'm sure he can throw it 110 yards, but does he know where it's going to land? Which direction?
And when he says he's talking about current Vols quarterback Joe Milton, who without question has one of the strongest arms you've ever seen. If you can go watch the videos,
no one's ever
it's unreal.
Yeah, no one's ever questioned.
Now, accuracy?
Now, where it lands, where he's trying to hit and where it actually lands,
yeah,
two different.
Yeah.
Two different
things. I can't deny it. Can't deny that at all.
I'm just saying. Is there any new news on any more meetings on the roofed stadium?
No, and there won't be until the new year. We're kind of the city has kind of shut down operations as far as meetings and anything like that for the rest of the year. They'll meet again. The city will anyway. The city council will meet again coming up January 3rd, and then we'll start to hear more about it later in the year. But for right now, they're done. For right now. But more moves to come.
Nate on Twitter said he's got a pretty cool gif of a penguin saying, I know, fill in the blank. He said, I know that D-Mac was going to say something to the effect of, if only he could be more accurate consistently. And it was along those lines, Nate.
Yes.
So, yes, you know me well.
Yes, Nate. Yes.
You know me well.
Yeah, that's it, Nate. Look forward to hearing from you soon.
That was another thing that, you could add to the list of me.
I mean, we kind of,
You knew I couldn't leave that one alone.
No. It's just, but, it's obvious. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Like, is it being mean if that's the truth?
It's,
I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the truth.
If somebody could harness it, then, maybe you got something there. And they said similar things about Josh Allen, by the way, when he was at Wyoming. They had one of the strongest arms you'd ever seen, but nobody knew where it was going once he let it go.
Yep.
That's as real as it can be.
I actually think Tennessee's going to win this game. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did win this game.
I think they're going to be highly motivated to win this game. And look, and the reason, it's like, well, I'll look like Clemson. Look, you're kidding yourself if you think all these teams in bowls are there that are they're saying we've got to win this, right? Because they're just not. No. There are teams that have totally checked out in bowls. They're there.
Yeah.
They'll scoop up the prizes that they get for being there, right? They all the freebies. But after that, and they'll have fun with the bowling event and the marching bands and the burnouts or whatever they do.
Yeah.
Whatever city they're in. But there are teams that, quite honestly, they could care less whether they're there or not.
No, we mentioned this yesterday. We have moved on from bowl wins even being a moniker of success. We don't even talk about them. It's all about, do you reach them? And then after you reach them, no one says anything after that. It's sort of like mission accomplished.
Yep. So I think they want to be there, and I think they want to win. I think they want to keep that momentum going into 2023.
If you think about it, who's had a more disappointing season, Tennessee or Clemson?
Clemson. The answer is Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson has.
100%.
Yeah. I know it doesn't feel like that if you're a Vols fan.
100%.
But it's Clemson.
Yes.
So is Clemson really in the mood to be down here doing this? No. They'd rather be in the national championship playoff games than down there at the Orange Bowl with the Vols. And I know the Vols feel like they would rather be, and they would. Both teams would rather be preparing for a national championship playoff game. But the truth be known, Clemson's been there a lot as a program.
Yep.
The expectations for them to get there are much higher than it is for the Vols.
This is viewed as a disappointment.
Absolutely.
And that's credit to Dabo Swinney.
Yeah. Well, he set them up for this.
The culture that he's built.
Yes.
This is a disappointment for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they're to the point now where 3 losses is like,
what?
Wow. It's a
what
bad
a
season
down
almost.
year.
It's almost a bad season.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
There's no doubt about it. So, not all bowls are viewed equally, okay?
No.
Not these games are not all viewed equally by teams. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. And I think Tennessee wants to be there. Now, they've got deficiencies on players that have opted out, but so is Clemson, as you just heard from the interview with Vince. So Clemson's got dealing with the same
guys
problems.
Looking at the draft.
Yeah.
A lot of guys getting ready for the combine at this point.
I just think, and I honestly, I'm just not sure of Joe Milton. I hope that they can still get it done with him, but I just know that, if they're down, can he lead them back? I don't know. I think when things are rolling and things are good, I think they're fine. If you need a big throw, is Joe the guy? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
He can make any throw.
He can make any throw
on the planet.
I just don't know.
It's just the problem is we don't know if he can get it to the guy he's going to. And the guys that are on the field are not their best receivers. Their best receivers are not going to be there. As you just heard,
they're not going to be there.
So, who's making the big play for them on not just at quarterback, but at wide receiver?
Yep.
Who's going to get the ball?
Step away for the final time. Come back, wrap up Wednesday's edition of the McFarland Show next.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Are you looking for a trusted partner who knows AT&T business inside and out? ABS Communications is an organization built on the premise that telecom solutions and working with companies like AT&T can often be complicated, and the customer needs someone to help them navigate through these complexities. They make complex simple. Whether it's helping maintain, manage, or secure your business, ABS Communications is here to help all your business telecom and mobility needs. Their business was built with the goal of simplifying the process of connectivity for the customer and establishing a long-term relationship of trust through transparency and accountability. ABS Communications is a top 5 AT&T authorized agent with over 200 years of AT&T technical experience. You can call Mark and the gang at 615-349-8588, or you can visit their website at abscomm.net. And remember, mention the McFarland Show to ABS, and you could get up to $250 in a Visa gift card for new ABS business customers.
Whoa, are you kidding me?
There's plenty of game left. Just chill out. If you're too riled up, you won't ever get to sleep tonight.
How can I chill out when I have to put up with this every single week?
Oh, and he gets picked off. Interception.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay, that's enough. Here, try these cannabis products from Lab Canna. And these heightened Delta 8 gummies and Karma Calming Caramels will help put you in a better state of mind.
Whether you win or lose, make every game day better with cannabis products from Lab Canna. Learn more today at labcanna.com.
WNSR Nashville Sports Radio would like to take this time to say congratulations to Greg Poe. Greg is a member of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. Greg Poe has been a standard and staple of Nashville sports media. Congratulations to Greg Poe and the rest of the 2023 class of the Tennessee Sports Writers Association Hall of Fame. From your friends and family at WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
Looks like Ed Reed is going to be a head coach.
Ed Reed.
He's been a coach, but he's going to be a head coach.
Position coach, yes. He's been a position coach. I know. You know what? Ed Reed's one of those guys. It seems like he pops up places and he's coaching up guys almost all the time. And it's random places at that. Like I've seen him at Miami. I know. I've seen him giving pep talks and coaching clinics for a while. He and Ray Lewis were going around and popping up in random locker rooms, talking to guys. You'll see it on YouTube. But now he has stepped into it, and he is coaching at the college level. Ed Reed is taking on the job at Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman is a historically black college and university that is down in Daytona, Florida. It's not on the beach. But it's in the actual city of Daytona, Florida, down there. They've had a couple of down years. They're in the Southwest Athletic Conference called the SWAC. Same conference, by the way, that Jackson State University is in, where Deion Sanders just left and went on to Colorado. It's a private school. I just want to say, as someone who also went to a private HBCU during my collegiate years, how whether or not he wins all of his games, loses all of his games, or whether or not he's a disaster, or whether or not he's a success, it is a cool thing for me, at least, to see somebody of Ed Reed's stature go down to a place like an HBCU and really dig in and decide to give his all and give his hand at coaching and being the head coach of a football team. Ed Reed is not just a Hall of Famer. There's an argument that can be made, and a solid one at that. Ed Reed is the best safety who ever played NFL football, and he's in the top 3, if not number 1 overall. And I challenge anybody on that. But for the fact that he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and now he's taking the chance down at an HBCU like Bethune-Cookman, it's going to be it's going to be very cool for a bunch of guys 20, 30 years from now to be able to say, I played for Ed Reed when I was in college. So, awesome opportunity for those folks, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they can, I think they just played TSU last year. So I'm not sure if they've got another game coming up soon or not.
Eddie versus Ed.
True. And, two guys who've seen each other on the football field.
Oh, they have.
Got a little history there.
Titans have rolled out Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Petit Frere, Amani Hooker, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, Dylan Cole, and Josh Thompson for tomorrow's contest against the Cowboys. Derrick Henry, Christian Fulton, Danico Autry, doubtful. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? It means I don't know how on God's green earth the Titans are even going to be competitive in this game. But we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into with that.
A lot to get into tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We look forward to breaking down that game tomorrow. Stay tuned. Afternoon stretch is next. We will talk to you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. See you then.